third graders, it's Mrs. Shea here. So we just finished our first lesson last week on writing an introductory paragraph. And so this week we're going to write our main paragraph. We're still using the same prompt that I used for last week. So we are actually creating this essay in smaller chunks. So your introductory paragraph should look beautiful. It should have no spelling errors or anything like that. And hopefully you're feeling really confident about what you wrote for your introduction. So I wanted to remind you guys what I wrote for my introduction. So I have it up here on the whiteboard. So I'm just going to read it for you just to refresh your memory of what I came up with. So have you ever thought about how many living things are on this planet? Well, that's exactly what ecology is. It is the study of all living things. Whether you are playing in your backyard or looking for seashells at the beach, you will find yourself in different ecosystems. The three different types of living things found in every ecosystem are called decomposers, producers, and consumers. So that's a solid introductory paragraph, and that's just mine. So everybody's introductory paragraph is going to be different. I want to encourage you, something I noticed. You guys did a great job. I saw some of your guys' work, but I want to make sure you guys are using your own thoughts and your own ideas. So this is supposed to help guide you, but I don't want you copying off any of my ideas. I want you to use your own ideas. Generally, we're all going to be talking about the same things, but make sure you're thinking of what do you want to talk about, because you get to inform/explain in this essay what matters to you in ecology. So maybe you're going to talk about food chains. Maybe you're going to talk about the energy pyramid. We did that project on the energy pyramid. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go about this. But when we're writing our main paragraph, I wanted to ask you guys these 4 questions. These 4 questions are going to help you write your main paragraph. And it's going to make it a lot easier to write something that goes with your introduction and that follows into your conclusion, which next week we will be talking about conclusions. So first question is, how do I transition from my introduction to my main idea? This is a really tricky thing for everybody. Transitioning into your next paragraph, you have to really think, okay, what was I just talking about in my introduction so that I stay on topic, but it's still a new idea, and it's a new idea/new paragraph. So I wrote in my transition, because I go back to my last sentence, and this is how I did it. So I said the 3 different types of living things found in every ecosystem are called decomposers, producers, and consumers. So I transitioned by saying living things are classified into different groups because they each play different roles in every ecosystem. So that's a transition into a new paragraph because it's still talking about the same thing I was talking about in my introduction, but it's kind of rewording it and reshaping the flow of how things are going. So instead of just saying producers, consumers, and decomposers are part of the ecosystem, I'm talking about how living things are classified into different groups. So that's how I transitioned into my main paragraph. The next question I want you guys to ask yourself is, what is my main idea? So my main idea is to talk about the 3 types of living things. That's my main idea. That's it. So I want to focus on the producers, the consumers, and the decomposers and what exactly those are. But your main idea might be about a specific ecosystem. Maybe you want to talk about the beach and what you find at the beach. And then maybe you talk about the different animals you see there or whatnot. But maybe you have a different main idea. Maybe you want to talk about a food chain and what's in a specific food chain and what the food chain means in an environment and why we have food chains and why all living things depend on each other. So that could be your main idea. So it's really important to know, what is my main idea? Writing down your main idea before you write your main paragraph will help you write a much stronger main paragraph. Your third question is, who is my audience/reader? So maybe your audience or your reader that you're thinking of writing to in this essay is pretty broad. Maybe it's to your school, maybe it's just to your teacher, to me, maybe it's to younger kids, maybe it's to your younger siblings or to the preschoolers here. So if you're talking to them, you're probably not going to be using some of the words that I'm using because those are really classified and all those different fancy words, they wouldn't know what that means. So maybe you're writing to a younger group. If you're writing to a younger group, you still are using correct punctuation though and correct grammar, but you'll be using more simple and smaller sentences probably, and something more straightforward. So that's really important as well. Your last question is, what am I informing / explaining to my audience that I want them to know? This is the most important part of this type of essay and this type of main paragraph. Because we're writing an explanatory / informative essay, we're explaining / informing something to our audience that they probably don't know about. A lot of people don't know about composers and decomposers and consumers. They don't know what that really means. They've never really maybe heard that word before. So that's something that I'm explaining to my audience that I want them to know about because I learned about it and I want to share this information. So these are really great questions. I hope you go back to them and I hope these make sense. In my next paragraph, I'm not going to show you the full main paragraph because I want you guys to use your own creativity and your own effort into creating this. But if you go back to these main 4 questions, this will really help remind you how to write a solid main paragraph and how to keep on track and stay on topic with your subject. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And again, if you have questions or you want me to look at your writing and you're just really struggling with your main paragraph, feel free to reach out by email, call, or text, and hopefully you guys can have some fun with this. All right, thank you guys for listening.